Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Just kind of want to comment on some chatter that I saw out there online. A lot of guys been riding the Kawasaki Z900 RS, stating that the bike runs hot. So you're looking at a brand new 2022 Kawasaki Z900 RS. Purchased it this past summer in 2022, this past June, July timeframe. So I was able to ride it during the summer and going into the fall, and now still riding it a little bit into the winter months. But one thing that I noticed about this bike, and then listening to some of the chat that I was out there, people have been renting this bike and riding it for a day or two, whatever, and then they'll come back and say, well, the bike runs hot. Well, one thing that I did notice with this particular bike is it has a digital temperature on it, and we're going to start it up here in a few minutes, but just kind of want to finish the dialogue before I ultimately start it up, because it's going to be rather loud. One thing that I noticed is in stop and go traffic during the summertime, you'll see that the temperature will tick up above the halfway mark, but it never goes towards really the hot mark to get to the highest temperature. I want to say it's probably 2 ticks up to get to the H mark, and it never reaches that. It'll tick up when I'm in stop and go traffic, but you know, once I'm hitting the freeway and once I'm sort of, you know, just hitting the back roads and stuff like that, there's no feeling of like, you know, I got to pull over or there's something wrong with the bike that it feels like it's running hot. We just did the oil change. So I'm at 600, maybe 700 miles. We just did the oil change and checking the bike out. But again, you know, there's nothing here to say that this bike is really having issues with, you know, humidity, and there's something going on with this particular engine. Kawasaki did some great work, as you can see. This is the regular model. This is the Z900 RS. I know they're coming out with a lot of different models now, the anniversary edition, I think the C or CE now, and mostly some of the newer models, they just coming out with like suspension upgrades, different rims, different colors, stuff like that. Nothing that you can't do on your own, but kind of wanted to let you know that you know, I think the scenario of a couple of people making those comments is, you know, they're riding the bike, you know, whether it was a rental or they borrowed it from somebody, and they're in a lot of stop and go traffic, that the bike is running a little warm. You know, just depends on where you're at, depends on how the bike is, depends on who serviced the bike. You know, are they running the proper coolant? Of course, whenever you're servicing a bike, you want to have a Kawasaki technician, a guy that's actually knows what he's doing and has been working on the bike for a while. So here you can kind of see that digital gauge that I was talking about. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. I'm going to start it up here in a second. It's going to be a cold start, so it's going to be a little loud. But there's, of course, cool. C is cool at the bottom, and the H for is hot. Then they've got like a little tick marker here that's halfway up. So during the summer, so there's 2 ticks up to get to H, and then there's 2 ticks down, I believe, to get to cool. But pretty much once it warms up, it pretty much stays halfway. Like I said, in stop and go traffic, you'll see it tick up a little bit. But then when I'm starting to hit the back roads, and I'm hitting the freeways, it'll cool off, and really there's no issue. I haven't had any issues from this bike since I bought it. The suspension is great. I'm about 230 pounds. I'm pretty tall. I'm about 6'3". So I love the color. I love what they've done, Kawasaki's done with this particular bike. This is my first Kawasaki. I did get to ride the Ninja this summer. Comparing this to the Ninja, I mean, just hands down, it's just a different ride, different feel. I was a lot more cramped on the Kawasaki Ninja, so I didn't enjoy that ride. But let's start up and let's see if we can get that temperature to come up. still got the stock exhaust. Haven't done anything to it yet. At night it's beautiful. Old school gauges. At night, of course, when the lights are on, they totally illuminate up. It's beautiful to see at night. I might post a couple of pictures of her at night. See right now, because it's cold, hope you can see that the temperature gauge is not even really showing. Also, a couple of comments out there to where when you first start it up, it's, you know, the revs are pretty high, but you give it a few minutes, it drops below 2. So when it first starts up, it's a little bit above 2, maybe 2, 2.5, and then she'll drop down. She's fine. Yeah, like now, temperature gauge is not showing, so. Comes with traction control, so it's I want to say it's 2 or 3 different modes. Right now I kind of keep it in one. The second level is more of like rain mode. It tones the motor down, probably tightens up some of the suspension and the gearing. I ran it in, so that's what that is on the dashboard, the KTRC. That's pretty much, you know, Kawasaki's traction control system. And then when it also allows you to turn it all the way off. Another gotcha here is, not really a gotcha, but you got to run premium. You didn't know cheap gas. There's no regular unleaded, which is a good thing. But just going into it, sometimes a lot of new bike owners don't know that, you know, so automatically Kawasaki wants you to put premium in this guy, none of the cheap stuff. So now you'll start to see the gauges showing, and even when she warms up, usually I let her warm up, just depends on how cold it is and how long it's been since I rode her. 10 to 15 minutes on real cold days. Summertime, 5 minutes. And as soon as I see that gauge ticking up the halfway mark, usually in the summertime it hits the halfway mark, and in no time, in less than the 5 minutes. During the winter, because she's cold, she's been sitting for a couple of days, I'll let her run for, like I said, 10, 15 minutes. I don't rev her, I just let her run. I love the blue color. Kawasaki did great. I was thinking about repainting it, but everybody's like, no, don't repaint it. She's beautiful the way she is. One thing I will do is, eventually I probably will put a custom suspension system in there. Some of the guys have already recommended OHIMs, I believe. I'm probably not saying that right, but there's another suspension system that you can get put on there. I'm definitely getting rid of the stock exhaust, but she definitely does not run hot. As long as you're running the right coolant in her. We haven't changed the coolant yet. Of course, you can see there, coolant goes down there. But I was told it's somewhere around 8,000 miles. Show you this manual real quick. So the bike comes with the owner's manual. It does not come with the service manual. The service manual, I noticed if you go to Kawasaki.com and go look for this particular bike and look for the service manual, you can purchase it, but it's an extra 100 and something bucks. So this guy here, when you go look at, you know, your oil or your coolant requirements, it's pretty, you know, it's just telling you, you know, where to look at for your full line, your low line, your reserve tank, and telling you that you should have it changed by an authorized Kawasaki dealer. It's not giving you any details. And it's just telling you that it's mixed at 50%, which of course all coolant is pretty much mixed at 50% between a car and a bike. So one good thing is, like I said, I already took it to, I didn't take it back to the dealer where I purchased it from. I took it to a dealer, a local dealer, and they have access to a system. It's an online database that I guess only dealers have access to. They're able to go in and pull up this particular bike's profile and tell me when the oil needs to be changed, when the coolant needs to be changed, and pretty much they have access to that manual, but it's a different type of system. I believe there's a hard copy book that you, like I said, you can buy from Kawasaki. But one thing that I noticed is the service manual is sold out, so can't get access to that right now. I'll probably just, you know, just stay on the lookout for it, or just, you know, continue to utilize the same dealer, the mechanic that I'm working with. That way they can keep me pretty much up to speed on when I need to change fluids and all that good stuff. I'll get into eventually of changing my own oil and stuff like that, but right now I'm just enjoying the ride. Like I said, first bike is beautiful. Now going back to look at the temperature, hopefully you can see that it's at the halfway mark. Like I said, this is pretty much where it'll stay at, unless I'm in stop and go traffic and it's one of those 90-degree days. That's where it'll pretty much stay at. It will tick up one mark. So like now you can see the blocks. I think I said there was 2 before. It's actually 3 down and 3 up, but this is where it will actually stay at throughout the day of me riding. Let you hear it real quick. Beautiful sound. Again, for the people that have probably borrowed bikes, they're running bikes just once or twice. Maybe it needed to be serviced. Not sure. Different variables involved. If the bike is running hot, maybe she hadn't been taken care of. But again, 6 months I've been riding, no issues from heat. I'll probably drop another video just talking about the ride and the feel and the upgrades, the mods I'm going to do to it. But right now, Kawasaki Z900 RS, no heat issues. Thanks for watching. Take a look at the next video.